tell you, Dunnigan, is there will come a time when people will wish that they had availability and premiums at this level. And we're not there yet, and I don't know when it's coming. But I will tell you that when it comes, it'll happen in the blink of an eye. It's kind of like Titanic. They didn't have enough life rafts because it was not possible for the boat to sink until they hit the iceberg. A lot of people think that the dollar could never lose its supremacy. A lot of people think that none of this stuff can ever happen, and they're not preparing when they have right now the best environment that we've seen in years to prepare. And because of that, they say, well, see, if the world was so awful, then why is it available and the price is low? I mean, I get it, makes sense, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I think will render that argument wrong for too long.
The U.S. Mint has reported a continuous decrease in circulation coinage production for 3 consecutive months. August production saw a 9.6% drop from July, yet an 8.7% increase compared to the previous year's August figures. Surprisingly, the Mint has struck more Kennedy half dollars in 2023 than in any year since 2001. This may suggest a reduced demand for business strikes, although collector issue production remains uninterrupted. Andy Schectman, CEO and president of Miles Franklin Precious Metals, highlights an impending shift that many fail to acknowledge despite the current favorable availability and seemingly reasonable prices. He cautions that the prevailing stability and abundance could swiftly transition into scarcity and unaffordability. Globally, there are signs reflecting a different perception of economic stability than in the United States. Notably, gold has shown significant value increases against various currencies. Recent spikes in gold prices, rising by 12% in November due to the ongoing Middle East conflict between Israel and Palestine, underscore this trend. Gold prices surged from $1,815 at the end of October to a peak of $1,968 last week. Moreover, gold prices increased further as investors anticipated U.S. inflation data following Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's hawkish comments. This indicates that the international community might possess a clearer understanding of the genuine value of precious metals like gold and silver. The U.S. dollar's strength currently obscures such value. Despite the present advantageous conditions for those anticipating economic uncertainty, Andy warns of potential rapid transformations. While the situation appears calm and stable, a better understanding of the broader economic landscape and potential shifts in the dollar's strength could lead to significant changes in the availability, pricing, and demand for these precious metals. We will present clips from Andy Schectman's interview with Liberty and Finance. But before we do, if you want more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more updates. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
2023s are still available. And again, it will go down, honestly, as one of the biggest mysteries for me in a very long time, maybe ever, how the availability is what it is industry-wide. I am completely and totally shocked by it. I guess maybe I just have a feeling that more people should understand or see what we see. And maybe that's just the issue, is that most people haven't really woken up to the problems that are coming. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about. I mean, the rest of the world has. I mean, look, in Japan, gold's up 50% year over year. This year, it's up 50% in Japanese yen. It's up tenfold in Turkish lira. It's up fivefold in Argentine pounds, pesos. Argentina just joined the BRICS. Turkey is going to join the BRICS. They were just told that they can't join the European Union anytime soon. So they said, fine. And they're doing more and more and more business with the BRICS nations. And rumor is Japan is too. Look, what's happening, the bottom line here is that the inordinate strength of the dollar is masking gold and silver's utility. The rest of the world understands it. The people in this country don't yet. And as a result of this really strong dollar that has brought inflation down, even if we forget about the fact that they don't tell us, that they're not measuring in the core measurement, food and energy and housing and all of this stuff, which is just a joke. It's the strength of the dollar that has brought inflation down. It is the strength of the dollar, unjustified and inordinate strength, that is masking the reality of what gold and silver are. You have gold at all-time highs right now against the pound, the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, the yen, the yuan. I mean, go on and on and on. Most of the countries around the globe are seeing all-time highs in gold. It is doing what it is supposed to do. It is the fact that the dollar, once again, use the stupid analogy of being the cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry hamper. It's true until it's not. And that's the little by little by little by little that we've talked about forever, that we'll talk a little bit more about here today. But the availability is good. The pricing is good. And it's better than anywhere else in the world because of the strength of our dollar. And if you think the dollar will maintain this strength, then maybe there'll be better prices ahead. If you think that ultimately the dollar is in trouble, and we start to understand what the rest of the world already does, that in a falling currency, the price of gold will go much higher. It's not the price of gold going higher in yen or euro or pounds or yuan. It's the fact that those currencies are falling in relation to the benchmark, the dollar, in which gold is valued again. So I don't think we've seen anything yet done again. And I know it's hard for people to grasp this sometimes, but the rest of the world gets it. People in this country have yet to get it. And when the people in this country get it, and maybe it's a bank bail-in, as we've talked about, or some event that wakes people up like that, that's how fast the supply. And you know this to be true. I'm not sensationalizing. We've been working together long enough. You've seen it yourself to where in a blink of an eye, it goes from, yeah, it's plenty available to it's not available. And that's the kind of thing that I see in my mind's eye. We saw glimpses of that over the last few years, but I think the setup, the backdrop for what could come next would very quickly change the availability, the premium, all of that stuff, even the underlying price. We're not there yet. And this is a gift if you believe there is uncertainty and perhaps trouble ahead with the dollar and the markets and all the things that all the guests on your show so eloquently talk about. Then you have a gift that everyone else in the world isn't getting because they're paying all-time highs and we're not there yet.
The BRICS alliance has set its sights on challenging the dominance of the U.S. dollar by introducing a new currency into international markets, posing a direct threat to the dollar's supremacy. However, the absence of a unified currency within BRICS led to renewed discussions among its finance ministers. Amidst this, Andy highlights the launch of BRICS Pay, a blockchain-based financial settlement platform unveiled on October 25, 2023. This platform aims to streamline trade between BRICS nations, bypassing established systems like SWIFT used by the U.S. and European countries. The urgency behind adopting this alternative system heightened due to political sanctions, prompting nations like China, India, and the UK to integrate BRICS Pay into their financial frameworks. Moreover, Andy underscores other global shifts, such as Moody's downgrade of the U.S. government's credit outlook and Japan's substantial gold accumulation, resulting in a remarkable 50% surge in gold value against the yen. These changes are significant indicators of broader global economic transformations unfolding rapidly, supported by statements from influential figures like Xi Jinping and Kremlin spokesman Peskov. These swift developments underscore a historic and transformative period on a global scale. Let's get back to the interview.
People got really upset about the August meeting. Well, see, it was a nothing burger. They didn't come out with a unified currency. They're going to. We've been told over and over and over again. They're mentioning it again now, the Russian finance minister, that they are working at this feverishly, that all of the finance ministers of the BRICS 11 now are working on this, and they'll come and bring together their findings at the August meeting. We've talked about how they are going to use local settlement. And they are. One thing that was just released that you don't hear the mainstream talking about, something called BRICS Pay. And it's a new financial settlement platform. Just came out October 25th, 2023. And it's a blockchain-based payment system. It's a distributed ledger. It's designed so that any of the BRICS member currencies can be used in settlement. And then the main goal is to enable trade between the BRICS countries and bypassing the U.S. SWIFT system or the European or the Euro and the United States systems altogether, financial systems in particular, SWIFT. And all of these countries are working together. Look, the BRICS say, look, you already got two of our members have been disconnected from SWIFT, Russia and Iran, and their assets frozen. And you see threats all over the place to do it to China if they were to invade Taiwan and this and that. This has been those events have created greater urgency in developing this alternative system. Think about this. The country that is the world reserve currency, right? It's close to losing its AAA rating. Oh, really? How can that be? How can it be that the world reserve currency is close to losing its AAA rating? So when you talk about a dirty shirt in the laundry basket, yeah, that's exactly what it is. A couple other things. I was reading that Japan has an estimated 5,300 tons of gold, and they've roughly 10% of the global gold reserves. They've been accumulating it hand over fist, and what do you know? Gold is up 50% against the yen this year alone. Let's see, what else is important? Jamie Dimon, you mentioned, he's going to sell $141 million worth of stock in 2024. We keep hearing about the banks sitting on $650 billion in unrealized losses, and delinquency rates in subprime auto loans are going higher and higher and higher. And this is leading to statements that Xi Jinping says that, remember, changes of the world, of our times, and of historical significance are unfolding like never before. Yeah, it really is. They really are. And if you don't notice that, you're making a mistake. This is from the Dmitry Peskov. He's a spokesman for the Kremlin. He says the U.S. national debt has risen so high that Washington will no longer be able to print any more dollars to service it. He says, I read recently that the United States spends about $200 million an hour on servicing its debt. They will run out of paper soon, he said. I don't know if that number is right, because the Congressional Budget Office says $54.2 million per hour. He's saying $200 million. I'm sure the truth is somewhere in between. And as I mentioned, gold is up 50% against the yen. It's up tenfold against the lira and fivefold against the Argentine peso. Argentina just joined the BRICS. Turkey's going to join the BRICS. So these are all things that are happening faster and faster and faster.
The recent data from the U.S. Mint indicates a drop in coin production, possibly reflecting changing demand. Gold's rising value during global tensions and growing recognition internationally hints at a differing perception of its worth compared to the strong U.S. dollar. This points to potential shifts in how these metals are valued and sought after globally. Could shifts in global perceptions towards precious metals reshape their future availability and demand? Share your observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.